Oh my goodness, it's lunchtime. It's 12:30 and it's time for Live and Linking. And this week we are talking about goals. Look, I got my Christmas decks up. We're starting to feel Christmassy. Most people are going to be finished by the end of this week because Christmas is next week. Where did that go? And we're starting to think about our goals for 2026, aren't we? We're starting to write things down. We're starting to do our SMART goals. And in the green room, I can see someone screaming because it's not just about the SMART goals. We need to be setting goals. We need to be working on it. So what are we going to do to make 2026 our best year ever? Who better to ask than my guest today, Heather Barry? Hello.
Hello, my lovely.
Yeah, why were you pulling a face when I said SMART goals?
Well, because I swear ever so slightly, I think they suck. Well, for most people, they don't do what they need to do. And I know we'll dive into that while we're chatting. But for me, they're not designed for the modern world. They were created 42 something years ago in a factory by some dude in the States. And for the people who are super driven, and if you say go there, they'll get there, which sadly is not most of us. So we need something a lot more robust and useful and able to deal with the complex world that we live in. So
fantastic. Awesome. So just in case anybody doesn't know you, Heather, who are you and what do you do?
So as it says at the bottom there, I'm a goal achievement strategist, and the emphasis is actually on achievement because setting, if you stop with the set, where do you get to? I'm based on the south coast of England, beautiful Chichester, which is very lovely, not sunny today. And I kind of have a very varied history and background as an entrepreneur, as an accountant. I have a coffee business, so I have my fingers in lots of lovely, tasty, interesting pies. But for me, this kind of the work that I'm doing now, brings me huge amounts of joy. And I kind of want to create a bit of a revolution. I am somebody who's quite forthright. If things aren't right, I like them to be different. I've been in politics as well. Yeah, I stood for Parliament a couple of times.
Oh, wow, that's brilliant.
Because I wanted to make a difference. I didn't get elected, but you still.
There's always next time.
Exactly, and you can still have conversations with people. And I love to. You can't change everybody's mind, but let's have an open conversation. Let's have an open dialogue.
Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. I was going to say hello to Mihal. He comes in pretty much every single week. Hi, cloudy in London today. It's pretty miserable, isn't it? But I have heard it's going to brighten up. So all for that. And Mihal, are you setting goals for 2026? And did you smash your goals this year? Literally this morning, I have been doing a goal setting session with a group of people. And we did it it was just a fun thing, just having a chat about what people's goals are and what we should be doing. So blow all that out of the water. What is this M.A.R.S.T.A or M.A.R.S.T.A? How do you pronounce it? Goal strategy.
M.A.R.S.T.A.
But I'm guessing M.A.R.S.T.A is an acronym.
Of course it's an acronym. And I love an acronym because you can use it a zillion times for different things, which I do. And M.A.R.S.T.A, so simplicity, the simple thing of M.A.R.S.T.A is that it actually, using M.A.R.S.T.A helps you to create a rhythm in terms of your goals. And the rhythm is set, achieve, repeat. So it's kind of know where you're going, but understand who you are and the world in which you live. Achieve what I need to do to get there. And then repeat, what do I need to have in place so actually I can keep making progress, I can keep moving forward, so that there's the review, the accountability, all those sorts of things. So that's a sort of slightly longish answer, because it's actually only when you get into it that you kind of go, okay, those are the words that I need. So, and for me, the whole downfall of things, whether it's SMART, whatever you use, I do tend to pick on them because it's the easiest one to pick on, because it's the most well known, but it's too simplistic. It's just going, this is where I'm going by when. Okay, great. This is good to know, but how are you going to get there? What's going on in your world? How do you operate? And then when you take that into teams, how do I operate? If you and I are in a team, how can we work best together? So it's bringing the best of you to that whole thing of God, and we're all doing it all the time. Whether it's to get to work on time or to smash 100K in the next 4 days, it's a goal. So how are we going to get there?
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there saying you've got to have a goal, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do smart. And there's other people there going, you don't need a goal, just wing it. Um, the two ends of the spectrum. What do you say to those people who are just winging it and seeing what's the best that can happen?
Again, if that's your thing, that's your thing. If for you that works, that's brilliant. And I've done that a bit in my life, over the years. I think we all have. But in terms of, as an entrepreneur, what is the thing? It's that sort of thing. If you don't measure it, you can't change it. If you don't measure it, you can't improve it. And if you don't know what, if you walk into the supermarket and you kind of want to make, get the ingredients to make dinner. Well, if you don't know what you're going to have for dinner, you end up probably spending twice as much because you kind of go, that looks nice, that looks nice. But if you've kind of got that little recipe, you get what you need and you make your delicious dinner. So as I said, it's a bit simplistic, but yeah, that's the thing. You kind of have, just a simple target. If you watch any sort of sport, an archery target, it's got lots of circles. So it's like, yeah, I'd love to get to that middle one. It's like, I'd love that ideal client. But actually, if you put in what you need to, you're kind of going to get somewhere or thereabouts. And if you get thereabouts, how can I do it differently? How can I improve? But for me, again, it's also one of the smart kind of things is it's very linear and it's very sort of almost setting you up slightly to fail. If I don't hit that number, or if I don't do that, whatever that measurable thing is, and measure, there's lots of ways of measuring things. If you don't do that measure thing, then I've failed. And therefore kind of everything I've done in order to get there seems to sort of slightly pale into insignificance. It's like, no, it's really important to acknowledge that. But I want to keep moving forwards. I want to keep making good progress, but I want to feel that it's a positive thing. I want to feel inspired by the whole process. And it's got to make me feel, lovely and lively and juicy. It's got to be good.
Yeah. So I played the odd game of darts, and you watch darts on the TV, and they do this, and they get 180. Triple 20 each time. I do this. Yes, I hit the board.
Exactly. It's outside the numbers.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you've seen now, but instead of having a spotlight above, they have this ring of LEDs. And I'm sort of like, if I can get inside that halo, I'm doing okay.
And I don't know about you, but it's a bit like pool and darts. When you've had a pint, you hit the sweet spot.
It's easier. No, it is. It's much easier. Yeah.
And then you go over. Second pint, that's not good.
Yeah, no. Good thinking. Right. Okay. So,
serious.
The other thing that I struggle with is setting a goal that is going to be stretching enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Or do you go for, because don't they say aim for the stars, and if you get the moon, that's a great bonus. But most people just aim for the moon and don't even get out the atmosphere. Yeah. But the thing is, do I want the stars? Am I ever going to get to the stars? I think that's what's that I struggle with.
Yeah, I think for me, it's one of the things that we do literally almost in the first stage, that M, when you're kind of going through a full-on master goal, and it gets really, you can go into some real juicy depth if you want to. I do like the word juicy. You can kind of really get into some depth, and it's almost like, to begin with, it's what is that thing that is going to have an impact on, what difference do you want to make? What impact it? So it doesn't have to be, I want to go and turn over whatever, or I want 47 new clients. For some people that works. For some people it's like, go, the big, hairy, audacious goal, the wig, as well. Something I heard the other day, something wig, goal. It doesn't matter what works for you. And again, for me, this is really, really important. Master works with you. So whether you are neurodiverse, whether you're inspired by, go for this awesome thing, or actually just go for the thing that will really work for you, that's important. I think we've been kind of handed this kind of this one size fits all, and it just doesn't. So it's like, okay, actually, what works for you? What would really inspire you to knuckle down? If it's putting this, the absolute almost unattainable, then that's incredible and that works for you. But for most people, if you're training for a marathon, I'm training for a marathon. I'm not training for Iron Man, Iron Woman. I'm just training for a marathon. Not my thing, but but that's what you're training for. So I don't think you have to kind of overreach it or over egg it just to inspire you. If that doesn't do it for you, what will happen? And again, it's bringing it. It's like, I know I want to go there. Right, let's bring it into what we're focusing on right now, because we need to give structure to our time. And we've actually got a sort of a momentum version of M.A.R.S.T.A that is literally focused on my 30 days. What do I need to do this week? And it really brings that. Yes, you can have your big picture. I know what I want to do in this year. That's awesome. But what are you going to do tomorrow? Because it's great that I know that's where I want to be, big, hairy, audacious, whatever it is. But what do I need to do tomorrow? And how am I going to ensure that I do it? Because I don't know about you, but for me, focus is a challenge. But ADHD in my world. And, unless I have a deadline, deadlines work for me, but they might not work for you. If it's got to be done by 7, it'll be done by 7 and it'll be good. But, I get distracted very, very easily. And it's very easy to get distracted these days. So I think that this is really, really important, that we can design something. And the way I've created M.A.R.S.T.A is that it allows you to be yourself. It allows you to work the way that works best for you. And if you want to shoot for the sky kind of thing, awesome, go for it. But I still need to put 2 hours into my diary tomorrow to make sales calls.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
that's the thing, isn't it? And it's working out what's important, what needs to be done, but also, am I getting closer to this goal? Because if we don't have something to chase in 2026, are we going to be any better off at the end of next year?
100%. 100%. Yeah. So totally, it's just like, yeah. What is my big thing look like? What do I want to be? And as I say, it could be a numeric thing. It could be, I want to have solved this. I want the business to be ready for sale. Whatever your thing is that you want to achieve, the big thing. But actually, and the thing is that will be made up of so many smaller projects that lead to it. I remember one of the first times I actually worked with someone using M.A.R.S.T.A, and she was like, I need to get, I think it was the number of clients that she wanted to have, something that were sort of going through this particular program on her website. Great. It's a good goal. It's clear. It's stated. I know exactly where I want to be. And in the end, it sort of worked out, because normally if you said, I want to have that many, your immediate thing is, right, I must focus on sales. I must do this. I must do this. So that would be the way we've been taught way to do things. We then worked it all back. And in the end, the first thing she had to do was to look at her messaging. And she said, it is subtle, and it is something that you might think about, but your brain immediately goes to, I have to be doing sales. And then because I want that many new clients. And if you kind of don't really like sales, which a lot of people don't, you then kind of go, and then you kind of go into this, whereas actually, if you turned it around and you write, what's going to have the most impact on it? Actually, I need to get my messaging right. Okay, great. And then you can do that. And then that builds your confidence. So actually, it's quite nice to have some sales conversations, because I've got it, tip of my finger, got it. I know exactly what I want to say to people. And that for me, it's about reframing things. And I think just another little slight aside here is a lot of people kind of go, well, we already use, OKRs and KPIs and this and this and this. Great. You know what? Bring it on. However you want to measure, I'm happy, because it fits into the M.A.R.S.T.A framework. You can bring it in however you like. And it's just like this gorgeous sort of suitcase of all the things that you need to bring together to actually get to where you want to be.
Awesome. Hey, what are your goals for next year then?
Well, interestingly enough, other than changing the world, so my overarching thing is we actually train other coaches, consultants, and facilitators to use master goals. So that's so there's 3 strands to the business. So that there's that. So I've got a number in mind of people that I would like to train, but it's almost slightly more important is I want to be training the right people. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. And we've got some wonderful people. We've got the first one in January, our next training. And we're building up this really lovely sort of community of people who are trained to work with their clients using M.A.R.S.T.A. Then we're working with individuals, so individual entrepreneurs. So those are online courses. So they're just launching now. And I'm going to give you a little, what you call it?
QR
code shortly. Yeah, got a QR code. But just hold on before we do that. And then thirdly is I work very closely with my sister. We deliver our training together, and we're looking to work with organizations. So we want to have, we've got a number in mind of clients that we want to have on board, that we are then working with consistently to actually, and it ends up being almost a culture change. Because when you talk with people in a team, when you and I, you and me in a team, and we're sitting there and we kind of go, we've both got the same objective. Well, if you can bring the best of you and I can bring the best of me, and we've got a way of talking about it that reduces that kind of blame of you didn't and you shouldn't and I coulda, woulda, shoulda. We actually have much better conversation at the end of the week when, okay, we didn't quite get to where we wanted to be, but because of the way we've set it up, you can talk far more freely. So for me, that really getting into that sort of culture change is where we're looking. But it's a mammoth task ahead.
But you've broken it down. You've got your master goals set up. You're going to smash it out of the park.
Of course I am.
Yeah,
Of course I am.
That's a great attitude to have, isn't it? You know, when you start the year, you're following this recipe that you've sat down and worked out before you even have people around for dinner.
For me, as I say, we've got the numbers of the number of corporates that we want to have. We know how many people we want to train, and I know how many online courses I want to sell. And for a lot of people, that would be it. They would kind of go, that's where we want to be. And apparently if you write it down on a piece of paper and put it in a drawer, it magically comes true. I've heard this.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give a shout out to Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Nice to see you. Thanks for putting your name on because your details aren't coming up. And what are your goals, Cindy, for 2026? Some people do manifestations and vision boards. What are your thoughts on those?
Love them.
Yeah,
absolutely love them. I think it brings that sort of thought process. The brain doesn't always necessarily know the difference between a thought and an action. It kind of, it brings all those together. I was actually, my mum was telling me yesterday about some stuff that she's been reading about that whole visualization actually gives you a little bit of a dopamine hit. And we all love a little bit of dopamine. There's a dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin.
All of the above. All of the above.
Yeah. And we all need
legal drugs.
Yeah. And I think also what it does is it literally just brings you back into focus, quite literally, because you're looking at something. It brings you back into focus. And if you're sort of meditating on it, it's bringing your heart rate down, it's letting you focus. And you kind of go, well, and then sometimes you can kind of go, well, that's not really doing it for anymore. Okay, great. Then shift something, change something. There's nothing wrong in kind of moving direction. And just coming back to you saying, having now decided where we want to be by the end of the year, I've now brought that right back. And the very first thing I have to do is make sure that my QR codes work. It's that, but that is still a part of achieving that. Because when I get opportunities, it's nice to be able to give. And there's a perfect time to give you the QR code.
Right. What's this QR code going to do for us?
Let me tell you. Okay. So when some of the work I've been doing and what has led me to the whole thing around creating master goals, I I created a lead magnet, and it was a little animal productivity quiz. Because although when we do sort of work with corporates, we use the Strengths Finder assessment evaluation tool, because that individuality, those innate talents and strengths as to how we work differently, makes a huge difference when it comes to achieving your goals. Because it's so easy to get sucked into sort of blaming yourself if it doesn't go quite right, or feeling you have to, I should, whatever, be doing. Whereas actually, if you don't naturally work like that, you are literally on a hiding to nothing, because you will constantly end up in a sort of a blame sort of cycle. You'll end up wanting to be there and kind of, not quite getting there. So if you understand yourself just that little bit better, and, some people have done their Myers-Briggs and their, high yellow, blah, blah, blah. There's a zillion of them. But I have converted my lead magnet animal productivity quiz into something that you can all do. So if you click on that QR code, please fill in. It literally takes 2 minutes, and it will give you an immediate result. You don't have to do it now. You can do it after, and put your name and email address at the end. And I'll send you a little few more details as to our 30-day course that we're running in January, and with a lovely discount because you're friends of Ashley's.
Oh, that's perfect. Perfect.
Really
What are we
nice.
going to find out when we do this quiz? What?
So when you do your animal productivity quiz, we have 6 animals.
Okay.
So we have the magpie, the antelope, the red squirrel, the spider, the terrier, and the anteater.
Okay.
And if you think of those animals in the wild, that they all have some very distinct characteristics. And in doing the quiz, you will basically, it'll come immediately with an answer and tell you which is your highest scoring. Now, you might find that you have a couple that are equal, and you kind of go, "Ooh, it will happen. I can guarantee you it will happen for quite a few people." Or you'll have one really strong, and then all the others a little bit similar. You'll get a little email afterwards, which will send you to a YouTube channel, and then you can see a little 2-3 minute video on each of the animals. But in understanding, so for example, if you kind of understand, if you kind of go, I'm an antelope. If you're thinking of an antelope in the wild, they're very reactionary. It's kind of like, they're there having a little sip of water at the water thing. Suddenly, there's a lion. And they move around. So that antelope energy is highly, you react to everything. That important and urgent, everything is important, everything is urgent. Prioritizing for you is a bit of a challenge. So if you understand that you are an antelope, and that is a challenge that you have, you then need to plan your week in such a way that that is less likely to happen. You're able to kind of tap into that and kind of go, oi, antelope, you are not serving me right now. Please go away. Sometimes it's really useful if you're like you're running an event and you've got to be quick on everything. But if you are trying to get something done by the end of the day, it is so not helpful. So that's the whole idea behind the animals, is just understand, but also they can conflict with each other. So I had one person the other day who's an anteater, can't prioritize, antelope, but they're also an anteater. The anteater is methodical, the planner, the strategist. So the anteater is kind of like, oh, that's fine. The antelope is whizzing around. So nothing actually gets done, because there's a part of you that's just planning everything. And you keep planning. It doesn't matter how much you plan. This one over here just keeps getting in the way. So it's just really, this is not putting you in a box. And you will find if you do the quiz again, that you will perhaps get different results, because sometimes if you're more stressed, more relaxed, you do get slightly different results. It's not putting you in a box. It's not some psychological testing thing. It's a bit of fun, but it's really insightful fun. So please do that, and then I can just enjoy it. It's a bit of fun.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
it really helps when you know where you're going. And you can then bring it as like, right, I need, even if you get 0 points for anteater, we all have the ability to plan and strategize in some way. So sometimes this is also helpful to look at, to get other people in on your team to kind of go, actually, you're really good at the planning thing. Can you help me with that? And I'll help I'll be the terrier that gets it across the line. because that's my
Yeah.
thing. That's fun.
Perfect. Right. Okay. So what are the big mistakes we all make with goal planning?
Big mistakes for me. I think we've sort of covered them, but we'll kind of bring them together here. So the one is stopping at the set, which is where a lot of these things. So I want to be there by then.
Put it in a drawer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to plan. You need to work out how you're going to get there. So that's one. The other one is, I think sometimes for some people, it's over. Kind of going, oh, of course I can turn over that by then. So there needs to be a touch of reality, but that's self-understanding as well. I think a lot of people think that they kind of see what other people are doing, or they look at how other people are doing things, and they think that that's the way to do it. So you need to bring in some flexibility. We are complex humans. We live in a very complex world. Business is it's all complex. There's lots of that going on. So how can I make the best of me in this situation to get to where I want to be? And I think the more we can understand that and work with it, and it's ask for help. Get other people involved. Whether they're an accountability group. If none of your friends run a business, you're the only person in your friend group who runs a business. And let's face it, the employed people don't get the way our brains work. How can you find a group of other like-minded people who can support you and encourage you, challenge you a bit? This is good. It's good to, for somebody to hold a mirror. Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah. Okay. So someone's just turned around and said that the link's not working for them. So Lorna, we'll I'll put the link here. But if you go to the show notes, if you're listening on the podcast, that will be in there. And also, once this show is finished, Heather will go and drop it into LinkedIn, so you'll be able to see it then, Lorna. So sorry it's not working, but we will get there.
Sorry,
you can also find it if you go to your website on Master Goals.
Not for this one, but I will literally, if you give me 2 minutes after the show, I will put it onto the front page, which is Master Goals, M.A.R.S.T.A. goals.com.
Okay. And on LinkedIn, because you are on LinkedIn, which is how we know each other. In your contact details, you can have 3 different websites. So is it in there? It's not. So you're going to, after this show,
I'm making a list here.
I hope you're checking it twice.
Yeah. And what's my goal for today is to get my follow-up stuff done. Yeah, I didn't know you could put three.
Yes, you can. So
lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest mistakes I see people doing on LinkedIn is they don't utilize all the space. So make sure that's there.
It's like your business card. Yeah, you've paid for the real estate.
Yeah.
Things on both sides, and max out what you can put into. Now, do you suggest having something like that, like a QR on your banner, as a LinkedIn question back at you?
Right. Okay. So 70% of people use LinkedIn on their mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking at it on my mobile phone, how do I scan it?
Good point. Well made. There we go.
Thank you. But the other thing is with your banner, it's this big. It's as big as your finger. I'm holding my finger up now. So if you look at the palm of your finger, by the time you put a QR code on, there's not enough room to write anything else. So I'm not going to see what you do. So no, I wouldn't suggest putting it in there, but definitely put it in your about section as well and stuff like that. And do a post every now and again. In fact, if you do a post about it, you can do a follow-up post about here, and this is where we launched our QR code, and then put that at the top of your featured section. So when people see your LinkedIn, the thing they're going to see straight away is a QR code. So it gets people thinking. So awesome. Look at that, little bit of LinkedIn training and some goal setting.
And we are all going to have the most awesome 2026. For me, it's about start it right, remember who you are, but enjoy it. This should really be an enjoyable process rather than some sort of blaming yourself because I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we say goodbye, I'm just going to give us a shout out to our guest next week. And next week, I've got Nikki Dunn coming in and a load of other people, and we're just going to review the year. And we're going to, it's a first for me. So Nikki and I are going to be nattering, and then we're going to bring different people in to the show, have a little chat with them, see what they've done for the year and what their plans are for next year. So that should be fun. So see everybody next week. It will be recorded, so if you are away or not able to get to the screen, then not a problem at all. Okay, so thank you very much, Heather. How can people get hold of you?
Thank you very much. The easiest is LinkedIn, and it's LinkedIn. Heather Barry 1. I am the only Heather Barry wearing a black hat. Is my thing. I have a hat obsession. So yes, Heather Barry or Master Goals, M.A.R.S.T.A. goals.com, all one word. I am findable. There's not many of us in the world.
Fantastic, Heather Barry. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for your help today. Thank you to everybody for all of your comments, and we will see you next week. Cheerio. Thank you so much for watching or listening to my show this week. I want to bring to you people that can help us running our business. I love having a chat. I'm very nosy, very curious, and I'd love to ask questions. So if you want to be a guest, or if you've got some ideas for guests, let me know. And if you want me to help you with your LinkedIn, get in touch, because I want to give you a voice. Now, that could just be using LinkedIn, but I do other things as well. So I can help you with a podcast, a live show, and all kinds of other amazing things. So get in touch. My name is Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy, and you can find me on LinkedIn.